Hello, young little minds. Welcome to another session of All Force e-learning program. I am DNR, your physics lecturer. We were doing with the chapter called electric potential and capacitors. In today's chapter, today's topic, we will deal with energy stored in a capacitor. So our topic is energy stored in a capacitor. So I was telling you, so the topic is energy stored in a capacitor. In a capacitor. Then I was telling you actually the capacitor, we were discussing about a capacitor, I was informing you. A capacitor is an electrical device which is used to store electrical energy. The purpose of the capacitor is to store electrical energy. Now, how do you store? You store in the form of charge. You store charge. In that charge, we store the energy. So, I was giving you capacity of a capacitor. C is equal to Q by V. We have taken the formula. The capacity of a capacitor C, capacitance, is Q by V. Or Q is equal to CV, right? The units are farads, coulomb per volt, farad, right? Even I have given you the dimensional formula. It's later we have dealt with the different types of capacitors. I was speaking about a simple spherical capacitor. Then the condenser. Well, in the present day, there are no simple capacitors. We are all using condensers. So we just spell them as capacitors. So now there are no simple capacitors. All condensers are spelled as capacitors. Spherical capacitor, that is the combination of two concentric spheres. One is earthed, the other one is charged. We have dealt. Similarly, parallel plate capacitor. Two parallel plates, one of the plate is connected to the earth, parallel plate capacitor. Yes. Then cylindrical capacitor, so on and so forth. Later we have taken the combination of capacitors in series, in parallel, all that, right? Now we shall talk about the energy stored in a capacitor. Let us consider a parallel plate capacitor. This is a parallel plate capacitor. Two plates like this, right? So you know I was telling you the second plate is earthed. It was earthed like this. This is plate A. This is plate B, correct? So this is a parallel plate capacitor. Now what I am doing is I am charging the capacitor. Like I am giving charge little by little I am giving charge. As I charge the capacitor, as I give the charge, there is work being done. There is work done in charging the capacitor. So as I go on giving charge like this, then the charge already stored in the capacitor, right, opposes the further charge. So to overcome this, you need to do work. The work done is stored in it as energy. So the energy stored in a capacitor, we'll derive the formula for the energy stored in a capacitor there, okay? Well, we have, before going to this, let me write down the basic formula that are necessary to understand this concept. The first one is the capacity of a capacitor, that is Q by V, Q is equal to C by V. For a parallel plate capacitor, we know the capacity is A epsilon naught by D. In the presence of the medium, suppose there is medium, then it is Ka epsilon naught by D, where A is the area of the capacitor, D is the distance between the plates, K is dielectric constant, right? So this is the thing. We know, I have explained while teaching electric potential, I said potential is the amount of work done per unit positive test charge, W by Q. We know W is equal to VQ. The work done in carrying a charge Q through a potential difference V. So it's W is VQ like this, right? So these are the basic formula which we are going to use in this to derive the formula there, okay? Now consider a parallel plate capacitor. This is a parallel plate capacitor. Let its capacity be C. The capacity of the capacitor is C. Right? You know the formula, capacity is K epsilon by D, the presence of the medium. If it is only air, then it is just simply A epsilon by D. So consider a parallel plate capacitor. Now I am giving charge to it. So I give charge to this plate. I am adding charge slowly to the plate like this. I am adding charge to the plate. Well, actually the field, that is the charge that is being given to it, the charge that is given, I am adding charge. Because of this positive charge, there is induction taking place, you get negative charge. The positive side of the other side of the plate B will go into the earth. So due to this, there is field that is produced inside the palpate capacitor, right? There is a strong electric field that is produced like this. The area of the plate, well, the area of the plate is capital A and the distance between the plates is T. So the capacity C is equal to A epsilon naught by D. Please remember this part. Right. In the process of giving charge, let after a time t, the charge on the capacitor is small q. The charge on the capacitor is small q after a time t. Now the potential of the charge, the charge on the capacitor is small q and the potential difference between this be V. Let it be V at a certain instant. In the process of charging, let after some time of charging, let the charge be Q and the potential be V. Now I want to add further charge, some extra charge to the plate. In adding a further extra small charge dQ to the plate, I need to do a small work dW. To add an extra charge, I need to do a small work dW. Now I was telling you what is the work done. Work done is V into D, V into Q. So to a potential, potential I was defining, it is the amount of work done in moving a unit positive test charge from infinity to the point of the field. If the potential at that point is V, if I move a charge Q from infinity to that point, then the work done is VQ. So therefore, the work done in moving a charge and putting it at a potential V, the small work done is V into, now I am adding a small charge dQ. So therefore, the small work done dW is V dQ, right? But we know, I was telling you according to the definition of capacitance, C is equal to Q by V or Q is equal to CV. Shall I cross multiply and write down from this? We know the capacity of a capacitor C. So C is equal to Q by V, right? And if I small q, the charge here is small q, the potential is V. So the capacity of the capacitor, capacity of a capacitor is a constant. For a particular capacitor under fixed conditions, it's a constant. I was telling you the definition, while defining the definition, the amount of charge in a capacitor is proportional to the potential there. As you give charge, the potential increases. Q proportional to V, Q is CV. C was a constant proportionality. So C is equal to Q by V. So cross multiplying, I can write V is equal to Q by C. Right? Let this be equation 2. And this is equation 1. Now substitute 2 in 1. Putting 2 in 1. So I get dW is equal to, Nana V is Q by C dQ. Q by C dQ. So what actually happens is, when I am giving charge to a capacitor, the first elementary charge I give, that is stored on the plate. But when I am giving the next charge, the already existing charge will oppose it. To overcome the opposition, I have to move it against the opposition. So in doing so, I have to do work. In doing work, I spend energy. Now the energy that is spent now is stored as. So the small work done, let at an instant of time. So during the process of charging, when I was charging the capacitor, in the process of charging, let at a particular instant of time, let the charge on the capacitor be Q. Right? At that instant, the potential, the corresponding potential is V. I was telling you, the charge and the potential both are directly proportional. So as I give charge, the potential increases. It's as simple as in a tank, as you pour water, the level increases. As the amount of water is increased, the level increases. Well, electric level is potential. Right? So as you give charge, the potential increases. So Q proportional to V. So Q is equal to CV. C is Q by V. The definition, the capacity, the definition for the capacity is charge per unit potential, Q by V. So C is, at that instant, C you can write as Q by V. So cross multiplying, I get V is equal to Q by C. Well, now now from this instant, if I have to add some extra charge dq, the small amount of work done in adding the extra charge dw. So dw is v dq. Well, according to the definition of electric potential, I was telling you, potential, the amount of work done per unit charge. So w is vq. Now the potential of the plate is v. I am adding, I am bringing, I am getting a charge dq from infinity and I want to put it over the plate. So at a potential v, the plate is at a potential v. Now I have to add dq. So small work done, dw is v. Well, v is q by c, putting over it. Therefore, dw is q by c dq. Now this is a small work done, but that for the small element of the charge. If I have to give the capacitor the total charge. So what is the total work done? The total work done in giving the charge. The total work done W in giving the total charge capital Q. Now W is integral dW it is. Well, you know, total, it's the summation. The addition of all the individual works for small elementary charge. Let's for the small charge, first one it is dW1, dW2, dW3, dW4, dot. For the last element it is dWn. The total, it is the algebraic sum. Work is a scalar. So I just add them. Sigma of all dW. Well, the same thing in furnished terms, I put it as integral. So the total work done is integral dW. So substituting this in this, the total work done in charging the capacitor is q by c dq, right? Q by c into dq. Well, q by c into dq, true. Initially when I was starting the charging of the capacitor, initially there was no charge. So the initial charge is 0. Now I want to charge it to a total charge capital Q. If I have to store a total charge capital Q on the capacitor, then the total work done from the charge 0 to capital Q it is. The limits from where to where. Now suppose if it is something like this, already the charge on the capacitor is something like Q1. If I have to increase the charge to Q2, then the limits ranges from Q1 to Q2. But in my process here, initially there was no charge in the capacitor. I have started with 0 charge. So initially the charge is 0. Now I want to store the maximum charge of the capacitor, a charge capital Q. So I have to increase the charge from 0 to Q, the limits from 0 to Q. So the total work done is integral of 0 to capital Q, Q by Q. Well, coming to the integration part, well, you have learned in your earlier classes, integration. You know, Nana, integral of x power n dx. I was telling you in the earlier class, we have dealt with this many a time. I'll just repeat the thing. Integral of x power n dx, it is x to the power of n plus 1 by n plus 1. You know, integration is the reverse process of differentiation, the opposite process of differentiation. So the integral of x power n is x power n plus 1 by n plus 1. Well, suppose if the limits are x1 to x2, then this is between the limits x1 and x2. Well, putting the limits, upper limit and lower limit. First you have to substitute the upper limit. So the upper limit is x2 power n plus 1 by n plus 1 minus the lower limit x1 power n plus 1 by n plus 1. So this is the answer actually. Well, according to integration, integral of x power n dx, if there is any equation, mathematical equation of x power n, then it is x power n plus 1 by n plus 1. Well, upper limit minus lower limit. This is the integration. Well, here in our this thing, so here we have got, so the work done W is integral of, this is q dq by c from 0 to capital Q. Well, see, capacity of a capacitor is a constant. I can take this out. So if I take this out, I get the work done W is integral 0 to Q. It's small q dq 1 by c, q power 1. Well, it is like x power 1. So Dana, it is x power 1 dx. X power 1 dx. from x1 to x2. So substituting this formula, I get x power, n is 1 here, n is 1. So it's 1 plus 1 by 1 plus 1 between the limits x1 and x2. Well, it's 1 plus 1, I shall write it as 2 here. This is 1 plus 1, 2, right? And even here it is 2. So substituting the upper limit and the lower limit, so I get it as x2 square by 2 minus x1 square by 2. Correct? So this way it is. This is the integration there. This way, this is very important. You have to remember the formula there. That's of major use in. It's not going here. We got it as it's integral x power 1 dx from x1 to x2. So we get it as x power 1 plus 1 x square by 1 plus 1 2. Upper limit, lower limit, it is x2 square minus x1 square by 2. Correct? So putting the same thing in this one, so I get, so therefore the total work done W is 1 by C, constant, the C is constant, so constant is 1 by C, integral of q power 1 dq is from 0 to capital Q. So applying this, I get work done is 1 by C, integral of q power 1, so it's q power 1 plus 1 by 1 plus 1, well after perform integration, sorry. So after perform integration, so between the limits 0 to capital Q. So therefore, let me remove this. No. So therefore, so W is equal to 1 by C bracket. This is Q square by 2 between 0 and capital Q. Well, substituting the upper limit and the lower limit, I get, so W is 1 by C, even 2 is out. So upper limit is capital Q square minus 0 square by 2. So therefore the work done, so the work done in charging the capacitor is 1 by 2 capital Q square by C. So the work done is Q square by 2C. The total work done in storing the charge capital Q. Well, all the work done that is in doing so is stored in it as the energy. So the energy that is stored in the capacitor, it's stored in the form of electrical potential energy. It's in the form of electrical potential. So the electrical potential energy stored is Q square by 2C. This is the energy stored. Well, I shall just give a brief glance of again the same thing, repeat the thing, just have a clean idea. A capacitor is a device which is used to store, actually the purpose of the capacitor is to store energy. Now, how do you store energy? We store it in the form of charge. Well, you store energy in different forms. You store energy in the form of mass, you store energy in the form of charge. So in the form of charge, you store it in a capacitor. The device is capacitor. Well, the capacitor, consider a parallel plate capacitor. The parallel plate capacitor of plate area A. Well, area of the plate is A and the distance between the plates is T. Well, the capacitor, parallel plate capacitor C is A epsilon by D. You have already learned about this in our earlier classes, right? A epsilon by D. Just remember the formula. Then coming to the process. So what am I doing is I'm adding charge. I'm adding charge to this plate A. So as I go on giving charge like this, the charge is being stored. But in the process of charging the plate A, I need to do work. In the process of giving charge, I have to do work. In doing work, I spend energy. This energy that is spent is now stored in it as potential. Well, I'm giving charge. Suppose I start with 0 charge. At time t0, the charge is 0. I go on give the charge there. Let at an instant of time t, some time t, let the charge be small q. Charge is small q. Well, the potential at that instant is V. You know, I was telling you the charge and potential both are directly proportional. So at an instant of time, the charge is Q and the potential is V. Right? Then we know the capacity is Q by V. You know the formula for capacity. I've already, the definition, C is Q by V. So therefore, C is Q by V or V is Q by C. Please remember this. Now at that instant the charge was small q. Now I wanted to add some extra charge, give some extra charge dq. I want to give. In the process of giving a charge dq, already there is a charge small q and I want to add a charge dq. The already existing charge doesn't allow this dq to come. This is, this is positive charge plus. Already it is plus and I have to add another extra. So the already existing positive charge doesn't allow the extra dq positive charge to come over. Plus repulsion. It doesn't allow. So I have to, in the process, right, the external agent who is doing the work, the external agent who is charging the capacitor need to do work to put that extra charge. So I have to store the dq, I have to do some extra work. The small work, well, the work done is small because the element of charge is small. The small work done in putting dq at that potential V. But now the plate is at that potential V. So at that potential V, I have to put a charge dq. So the small work done dw, V dq. Well, we have already found d by q by c, V is q by c. So the small work done is q by c dq. Right? This is equation 1. Sorry, this is 1. Well, I have put substituting 2 in 1, I get this. Let this be 3. Now in putting a small charge, a small work done is dw. If you have to store the total charge capital Q, if you have to give the total charge capital Q, then the total work done. I am the external agent who is doing work in storing the charge. Well, any external agent, a battery, a source, right, a cell, an AC source, it can be anything. So any external agent who is doing so. Now I am taking as an example that I am doing so. Let's suppose, right, if I connect this to the battery will do it. Battery does it. Same thing. So the total work done in storing the total charge 0 to Q. Well, according to mathematics, the total thing, it is the algebraic sum, sigma. You can put it in the Finnish terms as integral dw. Well, it is integration dw is q by c dq. Well, the limits, I am increasing the charge from 0 to capital Q. So 0 to, the total charge stored is capital. So 0 to capital Q by c dq. Yes. But how do you perform the integration? Well, c is a constant. I am taking that constant out. Right. So constant is taken out. So it's q power 1 dq. The integration process I was telling you. Integral of x power n dx is x power n plus 1 by n plus 1. You need to remember those formulas. Now, these are the basic formulas actually that are required to solve this derivation. In every topic, I was putting the things like this. You need to learn the things this way. So, first of all, you should know the basic things that are required to understand this. First, you understand the basic things, remember them, then you slowly put on one after the other, right? So, integration. So, perform integration. Q power 1 plus 1 by 1 plus 1 like this, q square by 2. 0 to capital Q. So therefore you get it as capital Q square minus Z square. So the work done in storing the charge, it's Q square by 2C. Well, work done is stored in the form of energy. So the electrical energy is stored in the form of electrical potential energy. So the electrical potential energy is Q square by 2C. This way we find out the energy. Well, there are many methods of doing so actually. There are many methods. One of the simple process of finding the work done is W is equal to Q square by 2C. Now let me write down the different forms of the energy stored in the capacitor there, okay? So the process of charging the capacitor, when I am charging the capacitor, in the process of charging the capacitor, there is work done. All the work done is stored in the form of potential energy. Well, that energy, stored energy is half CV square or Q square by 2C. Let me write down the things. So we got the energy stored in the capacitor. The energy stored in the capacitor is Q square by 2C. Well, we know Q is equal to CV. So substituting Q is equal to CV, this energy I get it as CV whole square by 2C. Come on, expand. So this is C square V square by 2C. One of the C is being cancelled, so I get half CV square. This is the other form of the energy that is stored in a capacitor, half CV square. Well, you can even write this as, you can put this in simple terms like this also. Half CV square, I shall write it as CV into V. CV into V. But what is CV? CV is Q, charge, that is total charge stored. So this is Q. So it's half QV. So the energy stored in capacitor can be written as Q square by 2C, or half CV square, or half QV. Any of these three forms can be used according to the application, whatever that is being asked. Based on that, you need to take the formula there. Any of the things take this way: Q square by 2C, half CV square, and half QV. So this way you have to find out the energy that is stored, right? Okay, thank you.